When
it's time to put our patty on parade. That's my like smooth jazz petty Peeves intro.
CD 101.9.
The Quiet Storm.
Oh,
My petty peeve this week. So it was Antoinetta's birthday.
Happy birthday, Antoinette.
Oh, did I ever tell you that Dustin and I? So we make songs for everybody. Yours is coming.
Oh, God.
And so So Antoinette has her own song. And we come up with these things off of a full inebriation. But our Antoinette song is a ditty you might know.
Mm-hmm.
And her name just fits perfectly, and it goes a little something like this.
Okay.
Antoinette, Antoinette, oh Antoinette, oh Antoinette, oh Antoinette, oh Antoinette, oh Antoinette, Antoinette, Antoinette.
Oh, Jesus.
So it was Antoinette's birthday. Shout out to Around the Way Curls. Shout out to my boo. And so we took her out to a candle making class. And then to dinner. And the restaurant that we went to is absolutely delicious, and we thoroughly enjoyed the meal. I'd gone once before. Tristan took me out on a date. I said, we're going to go do something fancy for your birthday. We're going to have us some fancy tapas. We're just going to order a whole bunch of them and you know, pisco and cava, and we're just going to drink and be merry, right? Because you grown. And so we go to the restaurant. I made the reservation. I made it ahead of time. So you had two options, indoors or heated patio. You already know what I'm picking. So I pick the heated patio for our reservation. And we get there and check in. Oh, great. Can I see vaccinated? Can I see pop-up? Great. Wah, wah, wah. And then they come and they say, so listen. Mind you, I just want to say that the temperature dropped like a smooth, like 20 degrees yesterday. Wow. Saturday was ablaze, nigga. Hip hop and R&B. Whereas Sunday just dropped a smooth, I don't know, 20, 30 degrees.
Oh dear.
So they say, so hey, our heated patio doesn't get heated for a couple of days.
What?
I was like, wait, days? Nigga, I thought you were going to tell me minutes. So they were like, and we're fully booked inside, but we can seat you guys somewhere around like 9. And I said, I don't eat inside. And because I hate when they talk to me in question marks. I don't eat inside. And also, why was it advertised as a heated patio if I can't sit on it? So she's like scrambling at this point. We end up sitting in it anyway. And the way that we were positioned and it was set up, we actually like brought the warmth. So, but there's a couple of petty peeves in this. So whatever, everything's good, the food's good, but we sit down and I'm like, okay, so you all's heated patio doesn't get heated for several days. Why do you have it advertised as a heated patio? So the server comes over, she's absolutely lovely. This is not her fault, but we're like, hi, yes, okay, we're chilly, you have on a jacket. Can we get some coffee and some tea? Can we order coffees and teas before we get cocktails? Our coffee machine's broken. And we're like, okay, so let's all get tea then. She's like, so our tea, the way we warm our water is connected to the coffee machine? I said, miss. And then Antoinette was like, do you all have a pot? And it's a kitchen. You have water? She was like, can you put the pot on the stove and boil the water and bring us some tea? Because, and mind you, we have backgrounds in service, so we are very easy when we go out to eat. But please don't come to me at no restaurant that is filled with pots and water and tell me you can't make me no tea because the coffee machine is broken. After I have already reserved weeks ahead of time for a heated patio that ain't heated.
My God.
They made it right. They brought us a bottle of champagne and, apologized profusely. They didn't want to see that Yelp review, and they wasn't going to because I don't believe in that. And I'm going to come back because it's good. But I'm going to complain right now because this is fucked up. So those were a little peevish, but in the end, we ended up having a beautiful dinner, wonderful conversation, and she felt extremely loved, and that's all we wanted. That was the goal. And so, it turned out to be a beautiful night, but those were a couple of peeves that I had towards the beginning. What is yours?
My petty peeve is very petty. I went to Trader Joe's yesterday to do my grocery shopping, and there was not a cucumber in the whole store. And I just felt like,
wow.
What? Like,
they didn't have no
I just hate when
chips at ours.
when supermarkets have like things that are just like foundational. I went to the Wegmans the other week and they told me there was no spinach. I'm like, excuse me?
Wegmans be out of stupid stuff when they're out of stuff, and it irritates me. They be like, we don't have any broccoli. I'm like, what do you mean? No garlic?
I don't understand.
How is this? Tristan went to Trader Joe's. They didn't have no tortilla chips. And on any other given occasion, Trader Joe's has nine different types of tortilla chips.
Varieties of
they
tortilla
had
chips.
No tortilla chips in the store.
I just hate, and I was on Instagram. DeRay posted that he was at a Jimmy John's that didn't have no bread. What?
You said what?
This is a sandwich place that ran out of bread.
Wait, Jimmy John's didn't have no bread.
Jimmy John's didn't have any bread. And I'm just like, how are we out of these? What?
Well, so there is I don't know if you've read about these, about this bottleneck, this traffic jam on the Pacific, where all these ships are basically all caught up, and it's because there's not enough there's not enough labor to unload these ships, right? So all this cargo, all this shit is just backed up in the ocean. And they stay crying about how they don't want certain people to come into this country, or how lazy niggas are and they don't want to work and all this, that, and the third. That is not, if you all would pay living wages, if you would value people as human beings, perhaps there wouldn't be a bottleneck traffic jam of Titanics in the motherfucking Pacific Ocean. But instead, you all love to put the blame on everybody else instead of looking at what foundationally is fucked up about your system. So that's why the Jimmy John's don't have no bread. The Trader Joe's didn't have no motherfucking tortilla chips. I don't know why you couldn't get any cucumbers.
I literally circled the produce section like 3 times. Like, did they move them? Where did they put?
And Wegmans had no parsley a couple weeks ago. How is there no parsley? So
what are we doing?
No, that's aggravating.
Mean?
Well, did you find a cucumber elsewhere, sister?
No, I just don't know. I guess my salads will be bereft of cucumbers this week.
Wow,
maybe I'll put a pickle in them.
Ooh, I do pickle a red onion sometimes and put it in my salad.
And I do feel like that's what I'm gonna have to give because I just can't get my things, and it's unfortunate.
I'm very sorry to hear that. I'm very sorry to hear that.
It's okay.
Well, on that very depressing note, that's another episode of Getting Grown.
Absolutely, we are really, really, really appreciate you all for joining us. For another round of conversation at the kitchen table. We can't tell you how much it means to us that you guys kick it with us week after week. Check out the description box for all of the things that we, the shout out, I'll send the links to the tweet for the kitchen table talk. All of the things that we mentioned and discussed will be there. And Jade, take us out. Why don't you?
All right, so, I don't know if you all have been hearing me whisper in the background the entire time, every time I take a sip of water that tastes like cinnamon. But make sure you're doing that. I hope your water doesn't taste like cinnamon, but make sure you're drinking that water and moisturizing what's inside of you internally. Continue to also moisturize what's inside of you internally by minding your business because it's yours and other people's is not. And lastly, as I said, the weather dropped 20, 30 degrees. So
the heat is on.
Those heels and those ankles, you know what I'm saying? And that eczema. Make sure you moisturize that. Oh, yes. And that is because your black will absolutely crack if it is dry. Thank you so much.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Come on, Sound of Music. I watch that on Disney Plus as well.
That is my shit. I mean, and granted,
it is
about the Holocaust, but it's my shit.
It is. I mean, I just be in here singing with the nuns. How do you solve a problem like Maria?
Solve a problem like Maria.